Buddy. I am Celia Milton from NJ Vows Now in North New Jersey, and I'm here with my partner in wedding crime, Andrea Pertel, who owns For This Joyous Occasion in Central and South New Jersey. And you are listening to the New Jersey Wedding Podcast. And you may be listening, we have found out that you may be listening from all over the country or all over the world. Kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
Kind of
very
like it.
cool.
Like I had
Very
somebody from
cool.
Pakistan looking yesterday at this. It's like, all
Are
right,
they
great.
coming to Jersey for a wedding?
You know, it's only kind of interesting when people are coming from like we're in we're on a beautiful island in the Caribbean, but we're coming to New Jersey for our wedding. It's like, alrighty then. We'll
All
talk about that
right.
later, if this is your first time, we're happy to see you, and hopefully we'll see and hear you again. We are going to talk about a really interesting way of not only staying in your wedding budget, being able to express your own wedding vibe in a way that is, it's kind of almost invisible, but it's really a great budget thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, love it. We're talking about brunch weddings. Yeah.
Brunch
Yeah.
weddings, and we're going to give you some great advice for having your brunch wedding. So first of all, why have a
Why would
brunch
you do
wedding?
this?
Yeah,
Yes.
budget friendly. You said it already. They can be really budget friendly because
Yeah,
the venues are, they usually have availability and they're able to book another wedding later that evening.
that's right.
So
Yeah,
for you guys, it's going to be budget friendly. And also, your favorite date might be more available for a brunch
that's
if
right.
it's already booked for the evening.
That's right. And you know what? The whole thing about the budget part of this is that it's really kind of sneaky. It doesn't look like you're trying to do something that's less expensive, but it always ends up being that way for a lot of different reasons. Not only most venues are just less expensive for that time of day, and your alcohol package is going to be less expensive. Um, Everything that you do, like literally everything,
It's going
your
to be
apparel is going to be less formal and
right.
usually less expensive. Your flowers are probably going to be less elaborate. Everything along the way is going to be less expensive and nobody's even going to notice it. They're just going to
Right.
notice that they're invited to a beautiful spring, summer garden party on a gorgeous Saturday or Sunday morning, and here we go.
And there's another reason for it. Is your vibe. You said garden party. A garden party might be your vibe. You've always dreamt of a garden party and having a wedding dress or gown that reflects that, or a suit that reflects that. Maybe, your hope is that you're going to have your ceremony and your cocktails out in the garden area. And
Mm,
that is just your vibe. I love brunch. I love this time of day. I love the garden party. I mean, how often, realistically, in real life, how many garden parties are you invited to? You see it on TV, but
none.
is that stuff really happening? And
None.
and you're still including everything that you would have at an evening ceremony,
Yeah, of course.
just in a different way.
A little bit
Like you
different style. Yeah.
Right, right. You're going to have different foods. You're going to have maybe, obviously brunch foods. It's an opportunity to have an omelet station and waffles and
Mm.
pastries and smoked salmon and fresh fruit and my favorite, a gourmet coffee bar. That's a real something extra you can put in there. You can even hire the coffee cart people and they'll come in with the gourmet coffee cart. I want a cup of coffee now.
I know we do this every time we record and we talk about food. We're always like, by the end of it, we are always starving.
And
Oh,
it is Sunday, mid-morning Sunday
yes, it
here, so
is.
it's brunch time.
It is, and it's for a change. It's not like 1 degree in New Jersey and like gray and raining. So we're all kind of thinking like spring and summer outdoor patio. A lot of
Yeah.
these venues are just so beautiful during the day. You think of
Hmm.
weddings, we think of that elegant evening, all that kind of ambiance, but there's something just so pretty about a lot of these places with their gorgeous gardens, their beautiful patios, and that outside cocktail hour, maybe the whole thing outside, maybe the ceremony outside too. It's just
Right.
really cool. I
Yeah, because
think,
that could be your vibe. Maybe your vibe is like, I love a good Bloody Mary or a mimosa, and it's like That's so much fun.
Yeah.
So when you think of, what you like, what's true to you, this could be it, the brunch. I'm
Yeah.
into it.
I like it. Oh, well, and if you're looking for 2020, the end of 2025 or 2026, you may find that you have a lot more availability with dates in these
Mm,
venues for their morning weddings. And you may also find that you have a lot more availability with your guests. You may have people
yes.
who have evening plans for like every Saturday in September, but in, a late morning, oh, that's a great idea.
So
Yeah.
those are great reasons that you might be considering a brunch wedding. So now if you've decided on having one, we have some great advice and tips for you. And
Yeah.
I think my number one advice, because I've seen this, no matter what venue you book, confirm if you're having it on a Sunday brunch or even a Saturday brunch, the
Hmm.
chances are your venue had a Friday night or
Right.
Saturday night wedding or other event happening. So confirm with your salesperson as well as in your contract that the venue, indoors and outdoors, will be clean and event ready. And this includes the bathrooms are cleaned from the night before, the smoking areas are picked
Right.
up and clean, parking lots, entryway, that it's all clean and ready to go with a fresh staff who wasn't up till 3 in the morning.
Right. Well, and when are you going to be able to get there? Not only you, I mean, yes, the timing is something because when you have a 11 o'clock wedding, you may be completely, totally caught off guard with how early you have to be there for makeup.
Right, exactly. Know that you have to get up early, very early to get your hair and makeup done. So you want to confirm with your hair and makeup
Yeah.
artists that they're okay with this early hour, that they're not going to have a problem and they're going to be on time because
Right.
if especially something like a brunch wedding where a venue might have something happening later that day and they
Right.
need time to clean up and turn around, you can't be late.
No, you
They
can't
have
be
to
late.
be, so you might be getting up at like 5 in the morning to get
It's
that
going to be
hair.
early. Yes, it is. But
That's
yeah,
okay. You're going to be home early.
that's right. You had after party start at like 6 o'clock. Love it. What
Yeah.
the heck?
So you have to confirm your ceremony, your getting ready
Yeah.
timing with hair and makeup and your photographer, and just make sure everybody knows about this timeline and that they're into it.
That they're into
Um,
it because
yeah.
you are not going to be able to have in most places you are not going to be able to extend that party.
Yeah.
And if you're I mean if you're going to start most of the venues that I can think of, most of them start their morning weddings at 11:30 or noon. It's like the
Hmm.
actual start time for the ceremony there.
Yeah.
You are going to be gone when you're going to be gone because they're getting ready for the next thing. But
Yeah.
listen, it's all in the planning like any other wedding. It's like, maybe you're going to get ready there. More and more of our places have getting ready spaces with, makeup chairs and lighting, and more and more of them are seeing that this is something that their couples want. You want to
Right.
come there, you want to be there, you don't want to have the hassle of having people schlep from all over the place to be there on time. It's just, it's all in the planning. Not that it isn't
Right.
for evening weddings too, but I think there's a little less wiggle room for the ones in the morning.
And
Yeah.
even though the venues are used to it, they
Mhm.
enjoy booking these weddings. Obviously, it gives them two bookings a day. Um,
Absolutely.
you need to confirm the vendors when they can come in, what's
Right.
their load in and start times, and again, ensure the vendors are comfortable with an early arrival
Yeah,
so that they're ready
absolutely.
when the guests arrive.
Right.
Um, and then also, as you're doing your invitations. Not all invitations include a dress code, but I think for a brunch wedding, people might be a little confused. Like, what is our dress code? So
Mm,
you might want to put a dress code on there as like garden party chic or something like that. So they know it's not super formal, but still nice. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know if I got one, I'd be like, what do I wear? Maybe, so.
Well, we always know what we're going to wear, so that's good.
Yeah, well, we do. I meant like as a guest, how formal is it going to be? Because it's brunch,
Yeah.
but it's a wedding. So you
Yeah.
might consider putting in a little on the invitation dress code,
Yeah. Or on
just
your
so
website.
people
Yeah.
don't, yeah, or on the wedding website,
Yeah.
exactly,
I think
you
the
know.
websites become really kind of crucial for weddings
Mhm.
like this if people are not really used to them. But they're so, oh my gosh, I love them. They're so much fun.
They
And
really are. And
yeah.
the natural lighting
Mm,
is a big advantage for photographers. You think about that too, if it's going to be, this natural outdoor lighting at this time of day can
oh,
be
be
really
gorgeous.
great. But you're also going to want to think about uh is if it's going to be too warm because it's in the afternoon or this and that. Just make sure you're set with like the venue's going to have the air
Mm,
conditioning or the heating on. Just make sure you've covered all those bases
yeah.
with them. How do you prepare? How do you make these brunch weddings this time of day work for all of
Yeah.
us? Right.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the idea too that it just feels like a more relaxed time of day, a
Hmm.
relaxed celebration. And, maybe some of the things that you would think of for a formal night wedding just maybe they seem a little out of place. Like those, big long speeches and formal I'm finding that
Yeah.
for everybody though, that in general, even if the weddings are very formal in the way that they look and maybe their timing, I'm just finding that a lot of the big traditional formalities are going by the wayside. We talked about this before with the cake cutting. It's like cake cutting? Nobody's doing that. Oh,
Oh, and mentioning cakes, if a formal wedding cake is not your thing, this is a good opportunity, a brunch wedding, to have a beautiful pastry tower instead, or obviously donuts and crepes for dessert, that
I
type
knew
of
you were
thing.
going to get to the donuts. I knew that was
Yeah.
coming. I
I'm a
heard it
crepe
coming.
person too. Yeah. And if you want to do it, have more guest engagement, this is a good time, depending on your venue, if they have, and we've spoken to like the estate at Eagle Lakes and many
Mm,
other places that have lawn games for you to do, whether it's
yeah.
the, what's the one that you throw
Cornhole,
the cornhole, yeah. The cornhole games and the giant
giant
Jengas and all
Jenga.
that. This is fun. You're having your garden
Yeah,
party. That's part of cocktail hour. You can have, what's better at a brunch than a live jazz trio?
I
That's
love it.
great.
I love it.
That's great. And then you could have somebody like the Ocean Avenue Stompers
Oh,
do the
would that be fun?
reception, right? They could do the jazz trio cocktail hour. And then I think the Ocean Avenue Stompers with their DJ and their horns would make a great brunch um, band. Yeah.
I kind of love that idea.
I love that. I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah, I'm ready for them. Yeah. And I don't know, for some reason I think of this as like a summer, like a spring and summer kind of way of going
Mhm.
about organizing this. But, I don't know, like a nice fall, like a cider bar and all those like
Ah,
kind of fun hot drinks I think we just talked to Bearbrook a couple weeks ago, and they do all these great beverage bars with coffees and hot chocolate and the ciders and stuff. Oh God, there's all kinds of great stuff. It's just
yeah.
a completely different way of approaching it, but I don't think it's any less fun at all.
No, I love it. I think this would be my vibe. It really would.
Yeah,
I
me too.
love guest engagement. I love games and give people get the games and a mimosa and the of course I love the coffee bar and um the foods. I love the foods for something like this. A garden party. What fun.
Yeah.
Get all dressed up, garden chic and enjoy it. And it's budget friendly and you just need to think of those considerations, the cleanliness, the
The
timing, and
timeliness,
the
yeah.
flow. But, I
And
think it's great.
they're usually a little shorter too. I'm thinking like most of the weddings that I've done that recently that have been this way, 11:30 invite with a 12 o'clock start and 5 o'clock at the last, the last call is like so people are gone by 5. I don't, that's enough time to celebrate with people and do
Oh, more
your,
than that.
do your do your dances and do your toasts if you want to do that and visit with everybody. And just, I think it just feels, you know what? It feels more relaxed. And I think for people
Mhm.
who are like, enter into this process feeling like it's just going to be their kind of celebration, and all of a sudden it gets to be bigger and more formal and fancier. This is a way that sort of it kind of self-regulates itself,
Mm.
it kind of does.
Exactly. It's more relaxed. You're
Yeah.
skipping some of the those long speeches. It's more focused on mingling and fun activities and a garden party.
Well, and you know what? It may give you access. I'm thinking of some of the venues that I'm, trying to talk to be on the podcast. A lot of them will do private parties and ending at 4 or 5
Yeah.
when so a lot of our restaurant venues will end their private parties at that time so they can get ready for dinner service, and it gives
Yeah.
you access to a lot of different venues that you might not have access for unless you bought out the whole venue, and that's not for everybody.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a great consideration to have a brunch
Yeah.
ceremony and
Oh, and the boats. We didn't even talk about the boats. A lot of the boats do. You've got a couple of boats that go by you that like leave and do little cruises, and I do too.
uh-huh.
How fun would that be in the summer to
That's
get on a
yeah.
boat and just do that? Oh, I like it.
Yes, yeah. That we have some here and that go out of Brielle that do
Hmm.
weddings on them. And I think that's a great way. The
Oh, I think I
brunch
love it.
boat out there on the water, so fabulous. So fabulous.
I love it. I think that sounds like so much fun. I want to do it right now. And
And
it's
we want to hear from you guys. Did you do a brunch wedding? If so, we want to hear your advice. Is there something you did that you absolutely love and you would
mm,
like to let us know? Or is there something you didn't do that you wish you did? We want to hear your experience. So just message us on the social media, any of the social media apps, or um, on our website, New Jersey Wedding Podcast, there's a contact form. And so you can just message us, let us know. We
yeah.
can even have you as a guest on the podcast. Of course, we will never share your contact information, just your advice.
Yep. I think that sounds like fun. Sounds good. Sounds good. I think
Yes.
we've opened a brand new universe of choices for people who are just
Yes.
trying to narrow them down.
Something else to think about.
Yeah. Well, it's and I'm finding too when we're seeing that people are planning in a shorter time frame. And
Hmm.
if you're not looking to plan, if you're planning 2026, come on down. But I'm talking to a lot of people who are planning for April and May, and this kind of opening up your thought process to something a little bit different than you may have originally been thinking about. It gives you some options that they're going to be fun, and
Yeah.
it may just make your planning easier because you don't feel so like stressed because you can't find a great place.
Right. Right. Yeah. So consider a brunch wedding.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. Happy planning. This podcast is brought to you by New Jersey wedding officiant Andrea Pertel, owner of For This Joyous Occasion Officiating Services.
And Celia Milton, owner of NJ Vows Now, also New Jersey Wedding Officiating Services. We're up in North Jersey, and Andrea is down in Central and South Jersey. So together we cover the whole state, don't we?
Yes, yes.